California State Prison, Sacramento. Level 4, maximum security. In 2004, they opened the gates for us to investigate, and we got a glimpse at life inside. I remember vividly the first time I entered this maximum security prison. As soon as the Sallyport door closed behind me, I realized that I was locked inside with hundreds and hundreds of men convicted of the worst crimes known to man. And now, 15 years later, I'm really anxious to see how things have changed and how they haven't. Can you pop the fence, please?
Gate 3, also.
All right, we're locked in now. The criminal justice system in America has changed dramatically in recent years, and California is no different. By the late 2000s, prison population rates began decreasing after rising steadily over the previous decades. But nearly 1.5 million are still incarcerated in the United States. Since our first visit, we've spoken with men who have served time here and those still inside to see how reforms have affected what it's like inside this maximum security prison.
I was sentenced to life in prison, 15 life for murder in the second degree at 16 years old, and was sent to New Folsom just before my 20th birthday.
I got there in 2002, came straight into a state of emergency. They were on a lockdown for staff being assaulted, and I stayed there for 3 years.
Prison is by nature very violent. The prison guard, they were very brutal. Today that is changed in many ways.
Overall, from 2005 until 2019 when I was released, it has changed drastically.
When they did the filming was one of the times that we happened to be programming. But besides that, we were constantly, sitting locked in our cell 24/7 for 6 to 8 months at a time.
All right, listen up. When I say your name, I want a full CDC number.
In 2004, California State Prison, Sacramento, sometimes referred to as New Folsom, had a population of 3,400 inmates, and 70% were in for violent offenses. Today, that number is down to just over 2,000. Upon arrival, officers started with a full cavity search, probing every orifice of every inmate for hidden drugs and weapons. Inmates entered with nothing but their uniforms. As we entered the prison, we met with 2 inmates who had recently arrived. One was a prison veteran. Oliver had spent 17 years coming in and out of prisons. His crimes ranged from dealing drugs to stealing cars and assault. Each time, he knew he would end up back inside.
You live a life as an outlaw. An outlaw basically means that you're outside of society's set of rules. If you live outside society's rules, society ain't gonna let you stay out there very long.
That time, Oliver was in for a parole violation, scheduled to be out in 60 days. But any incident, a riot, even a fight, would land him a much longer sentence. His cellmate Kevin was a first-timer in maximum security, and he would be here a very long time. Kevin was convicted of 2 armed robberies, one of them at a bank with a loaded gun, and he faced 16 years behind bars.
The longer you try to hold on to that value system you've had out there, the harder the integration is going to be into the prison.
Kevin was an interesting story. He was very stoic, but I could tell that he was nervous about being inside. You could almost tell that he had to put on that air, because if he were to show weakness in any way, it would give other inmates an opportunity to pounce on him. Kevin's only chance was to find friends in a world divided by race and turn to other whites. And even among them, he had to figure out who could be trusted and who needed to be obeyed. This world has no tolerance for weakness. In max security, there's a strict code of honor and respect, and it all revolves around race. Gangs and alliances are formed around your own kind. Breaking their rules means breaking your lifeline.
I'm not going to sit down at the table and share my plate with a black, because I'm not going to go out there and do that just so I can get